He's been told, at least I've been told by people here who work the station, he was once better than Lawrence Taylor, his roommate. He's way better than him. That's what I've been told.
I've never heard it.
That's what these notes are telling me right now. Byron Hunt joins us. Byron, thank you so much for taking the time with us, man.
Hey, it's great to be with you guys. Happy belated 4th of July. I hope you guys had a lot of, I'm sure you had some good celebrations up there. But yeah, this is something that I just heard for the first time. Jonathan Wolf?
What? Jonathan?
I just heard someone say Jonathan Wolf.
He may have misheard us as Gazin Wolf.
Oh, it's Gazin Wolf.
Yes. No.
Jonathan Wolf, excuse me, guys. We can do take 2 if you want.
No, it's okay. Unless Wolf's new first name is Jonathan, then it's fine.
And it's funny. That's what Byron comments about. Not the fact that you said he was better than LT.
He was more concerned about your new first name.
Yeah, LT and I were good at doing different things. We were very good at doing a lot of different things. Like my specialty was covering running backs out of the backfield and tight ends. Lauren's specialty was rushing the passer.
Yes, that's right.
So that's kind of how it went down. And when you look at the both of us, you would never, Lawrence, you would say, okay, he could be a good pass rusher. But you look at me and say, that guy couldn't cover Tony Dorsett, but I did on a regular basis.
Yeah. Yes, you did. That had to be extremely challenging for you. Who would, over your career and in playing the Cowboys, who would you say made out better, Tony Dorsett or Byron Hunt?
I did. I was getting ready to take full responsibility for us whooping the Cowboys on a regular basis, but I'm going to diverse, and I'm going to say that we did a good job of whooping the Dallas Cowboys. And you guys don't remember this. Maybe you do remember this. But in 1981, imagine this. If the Cowboys, we beat the Cowboys the last game of the regular season, instead of the Cowboys having a home game, and having San Francisco to come to them, they had to go to San Francisco, and they lost that game. So I think we had something to do with that.
Now, I want to bring you back to a story that somehow has gotten new life 30-plus years later. You know, when LT broke Theismann's leg, okay,
yes, sir.
You could see after the play, LT was super concerned about it. All of a sudden, how long ago was it? 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, yeah.
What were the tweets?
They were talking about LT and Theismann going back and forth. That LT was saying he made Joe Theismann famous. He made his career. Now, this is a post-interview. That's what it's like.
Really? Okay, I didn't hear this.
Yeah, LT was saying he made Joe Theismann. Do you think LT's going overboard with those comments, at least?
Well, Theismann came back and said, what the hell are you talking about?
Well, I want you to know that was the end of Joe Theismann's career. So if Lawrence made Joe Theismann, I don't think he did anything after that.
No, he was not on the field anyway.
No, he was done after that.
That was it. He was over.
Byron Hunt joins. He played for the New York Giants in the 1980s. Now, Byron, you had Ray Perkins as your coach and then Bill Parcells. We're kind of seeing something similar now with the New York Giants where Tom Coughlin walks away and Ben McAdoo takes over. What do you remember as the biggest adjustments moving from one head coach to another head coach during your career?
Wow, what a comparison. You couldn't have 2 people more opposite. Tom Coughlin and then McAdoo? You're not serious, right? Look, I'm going to answer your question because it sounds like it is legitimate coming from you.
It is.
But I'm going to tell you, Ray Perkins was a tough SOB, just like Tom Coughlin. Okay, Bill Parcells was the same. A tough son of a gun. Tom Coughlin, you couldn't ask for a tougher coach. Demanding so much of his players, expecting so much, wanting to win at all costs. Tom Coughlin the great thing about Tom Coughlin is he was a true Catholic. He could cuss you up and down and everybody else in the whole building and then hold your hand and say, men, let's pray. So Tom Coughlin and McAdoo, I think that's Tom and Jerry, or Ben and Jerry, Tom and Jerry, with the odd couple. I mean, I don't see any comparison.
So with that being said,
except for they're both offensive coaches,
right?
Excuse me.
So with that being said, as a player in the locker room, you're used to all this tough Coughlin talk, guys getting on there, win at all costs, and all of a sudden you have this big adjustment, and now Ben McAdoo takes over. Are players not going to respect Ben McAdoo? Are they going to push his limits to see what they can get away with? Is this going to change the complete culture of that locker room because players are going to try to test the limits with them?
Well, I really don't know. I've thought about this a lot because Ben McAdoo, of course, comes from the Green Bay Packers, and of course, he's got not Tom Coughlin, but he's got Eli Manning.
Yep.
And I was looking at the Giants' depth chart and all the players they have brought in. That team looks very, very different than a year ago. I mean, yes, they got Victor Cruz, who's battling to come back.
Yep.
Yes, they got Beckham, the wide receiver. Yes, they have Eli Manning. And they got Zach DiAsi.
Yep.
Does anybody know who Zach DiAsi is? He's been with the team for 10, 11 years. All these 10, 11 years he plays linebacker, but he's really a deep snapper. That's really about it. They have brought in a lot of players from different teams. And, guys, let me tell you, I look at where those players came from. That's very important.
Right.
Okay.
Explain.
Linebacker comes from Miami. Okay. Defensive back comes from the Rams. I can't. Another guy came from. I think Harris came from the Jets. Mm-hmm. I want to see the Giants get guys that came from winning programs. I think that's important. Not that just comes there, not that they're coming there just to get the money, because the Giants did lay out a lot of cash.
Yep.
Jerry Reese, John Mayer, yes, they got together. They spent a lot of money. But if you look at the team, they didn't play very well as a team last year. Maybe one or two games here and there against the Cowboys, maybe the Redskins, a couple of times. But how is this team going to play together? That's what I'm looking at. I mean, the offense, yes. They're going to be able to score with anybody, I think. I'm not sold on their tight ends. Yes, they have some tremendous wide receivers. If Cruz comes back, I think that'll be a big, big plus. But defensively, Jason Pierre-Paul, I think he's going to end up basically being like a specialist, a guy that comes in and pass rushes, second and long, third and long, because he's going to have difficulty making tackles on a regular basis with you running the ball, things like that. Right. I look at the running back, Rashad Jenkins. Every time the Giants needed a big play, just get the yardage, hold on to the ball. He fumbled too many times, gave the ball up too many times. The Giants have a lot of question marks, guys. Are they going to be able to get together and play? Can McAdoo get those guys to play together and win? Win. What else is there? Why do you play the games if you're not going to try to win?
Former New York Giant Byron Hunt, always fired up with us here at 104.5 The Team and 104.5theteam.com. So with all that being said, Byron, realistic expectations. You're talking about the changes within the system, some players coming in. Realistic expectations for the team you played for in 2016, the New York Giants.
We're talking 8-8. We're talking 9-7. What do you think?
Wow, that's a good question. We know the Giants going to play the Cowboys twice and the Eagles twice, but they play the black and blue division. Pittsburgh, Browns, Chicago. They have to play all those teams. And let me tell you one thing: they don't call it the black and blue division for nothing.
Yep.
Those teams. They get after it. Look, I don't know how the Browns are going to be. We know Pittsburgh is going to be good. Chicago, they got a very good quarterback. And do I think the Giants have made some big improvements? Yes, on paper. But now these guys got to go. They're going to be in training camp maybe 19 days. They've already had mini camp. They're 19 days of training camp. And now this team has got to go out and gel. Okay, they got to start with. They got the Cowboys at home, on the road.
Yep.
Then they come back and they have New Orleans at home. Sean Payton, who's a former Giant coach or whatever, a quarterback, got a great quarterback down there, Breeze or whatever. The guys won some Super Bowls. Then, of course, they got to play, I think, the Redskins and then Minnesota Vikings. So right off the bat, we're looking at, can the Giants win in Dallas, okay? That's a toss-up. I'm going to say it's going to be tough. I'm going to give that a no. Look, I would love for it to be yes, but it didn't happen that often.
I mean, when you played in Dallas, did you find it, obviously home field advantage, but, the Cowboys, that still had to be, even back in your time, that had to be a tougher road game.
The cheerleaders are very distracting, Wolf, let me just tell you.
Byron,
I'm not the first guy, I'm sure, that said this to you. Is that when you're down there for the first time and those cheerleaders walk out there, and let me tell you, they're not dressed the way they're dressed just to, make it look good for the fans. They're trying to distract the players.
Oh, so
but
you're
that
saying that's wait a minute.
Yes?
So you're suggesting that Dallas uses the cheerleaders as an offensive weapon or defensive weapon?
I'm saying, why not? I mean, in these days and times, if you're the Dallas Cowboys and you're Jerry Jones, you mean to think, hey, well, come on, Wolf. And, Wolf, I've known you for a long time, my man.
Yep.
Do you think Jerry Jones, the marketing genius that he is, would not use anything he could to his advantage?
No, of course he would. No, you're absolutely right about that. I want to ask you about money. There was an article today on ESPN.com about the difference in pay between the NBA and the NFL. And and the NBA, of course, NBA contracts and players make a boatload more money than NFL players. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that the NBA has done a tremendous job, man. Let me tell you. And I don't know if this was planned, Wolf. And hey, look, I might never be on this show again after I say this, right? But when that young man, that older man, I would say, I'm calling a young man because I'm being respectful. When he was forced to sell his team to the guy from Microsoft, I think it was Microsoft, former guy from Microsoft,
Seattle,
for $3 billion. A team that a month before was worth maybe $800, maybe $1 billion. When he sold his team for $3 billion, it was over with. Well, all the TV contracts, they were all torn up. So right away they started negotiating a new deal. Adam Silver has done a tremendous job. Hey, look, they forced that guy out. That guy made it out like a bandit.
Yeah,
hey, look, I would love to have my team go from being worth $800 million to $1 billion to now worth $3 billion.
Now, did you hear what Irsay just paid out? Guys, the details.
I love my man Jim Irsay. He and I were teammates at SMU.
No, we're talking about the owner.
Yeah, Jim Irsay. Yeah. So he paid Andrew Luck a record-setting contract. Like, is it going to hit a point here, Byron, that...
Tell him how much.
Yeah, it's 6 years, $120 million with a little over $80 million.
$123 million.
Yeah, with a little more than $80 million guaranteed. But isn't there going to hit a point where the NFL guys say, look, here's what the NBA teams are making revenue-wise. Here's how much they're bringing in. NFL guys get together and say, here's how much more we're bringing in as an overall league. When are we going to see our money in our pockets? Is that union that strong, or is it just because, look, the league is so big, they have so many guys, they can never come to a consensus on what that number is going to be and how much of the pie they get?
Let me tell you, the NBA has the strongest union in professional sports. How many guys... I shouldn't say this like this, but come on, Wolf, let's be real. Hey, I'm sorry. Hey, can I just be real for a second?
Anytime.
When is the last time you have heard any NBA player be accused of anything?
Be accused of what?
Accused.
Of what?
Not indicted, not charged. When is the last time? They got this invisible shield around all those players. I don't know. Maybe something has happened and I've overlooked.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the NFL. It's weekly.
Yeah, I know. There's been a lot of NBA players, I think, in the last 2 or 3 years that have run into various situations. Look, we're up against the wall. Byron, love talking to you. We're going to talk to you again real soon. Stuff I still want to ask you, but we'll have you on again in a very short period of time.
Appreciate your time, Byron.
All right, guys. Love talking to you. Hey, Wolf.
Yes, Byron.
Peace be with you, man. I hope to see you in Saratoga.
Oh, yeah, you will. Don't worry. We'll work it out.
All right, buddy. Talk to you later.
Man.
All right, thanks.